Today is March 28th. It's Friday and it's almost 8 o'clock p.m. Tiffany wants to share something that she saw this morning. So what happened, Tiffany?
This morning, when I was on the bus, when I was waving to Mommy.
What's up? My name's Christopher, and this is my vision from God. I live in Las Vegas, 38 years old. In 2008, I had a dream, a vision from God. And my dream started off pretty regular. It was a bright and sunny day, and I was on the cell phone talking with my uncle. And we were just talking. I know I was cussing, listening to the radio, and that's when everything changed. From the day I had my vision, I've never been the same.
I saw something right when I looked up. So I was waving like this, and I looked there, and I looked up, and there was a pile of people. There was a pile of people. One on this side, one on this side. They're kind of close, like this close, and then they look like they're splitting up. And then it looked like there was like a little
Where was this at? No, I mean, like, where did you see this?
Sky.
Up in the clouds?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now, as I was driving, I noticed a lot of funny things was going on around me, and my uncle said the same.
And then, there were people. It's kind of curved, and then there was they looked at people, and then all of a sudden, it looked like a man appeared, like a type of man. And then when I looked, it was kind of dusty. I couldn't really see it, and it got better and better because it looked at it like it was coming towards me.
Same thing. He said something was weird was going on. I slammed on my brakes, and oh my Lord, what was in front of me would blow your mind. Right before my very eyes was the 4 horsemen. The 4 horsemen of the Bible, of the apocalypse. The ones that I've heard about since I was young. And they were giant knights on giant horses. I remember one in particular that had antlers on his head, looked over at the others and mumbled something real loud, and they all started laughing at me. As if I was the tail end of an old joke. They laughed, and I looked with astonishment at them. I knew I wasn't dreaming. They all took off and broke down the shitty street.
But that when the bus moved out, it was like way on the back, and I was trying to look at it, and then I still saw it, and it still looked like Jesus was coming towards me. Like Jesus is coming, and it looked like there's these little footsteps for Jesus to come down, like stairs. But he wasn't going on the stairs. He turned. Is this left or right?
Right.
He turned right. He actually turned right. Hold on. He turned right, like right, and then it looked.
I knew I wasn't dreaming. They all took off and broke down the shitty street.
Like he was keep going, and then when I checked, and I couldn't really see him, and he all of a sudden I checked really close, and then I looked at it like he disappeared or something. I couldn't see him, but I still saw the pile of the people. Like
now, as they got further and further away, I noticed that they faded off into the distance just as they left my sight.
Like pile that's right here and right here, but the right pile was starting to get really foggy and like disappear too.
All of a sudden, I'm back on the city street. Everything went back to normal. And as I was looking, I thought they were coming back. I started seeing something.
But this side was still here, and it still shaped like people's head. And it was still there, and then like they looked like they were jumping or somehow.
They were what? Jumping?
Yeah, they looked like they were jumping up and down, so many times. And then something was itching my feet, so I checked on like right here, and then right when I looked up, nothing was there.
Really?
Everything was gone.
I'm back on the city street. Everything went back to normal. And as I was looking, I thought they were coming back. I started seeing something.
Is this in your dream or is this in real life?
No, it was real life.
It was this morning?
Yeah, it was this morning. Because like right when I looked down, because I was itching my feet, right when I looked up, boom, everything was gone.
Wow.
It was like totally nothing, but there's some clouds.
Yeah.
Small clouds still.
So Jesus was walking towards you? Was he?
He looked like he was walking towards me. And then he was turning right, but there's these footsteps he was supposed to go down. It was like this, and then right here was just stopped. There were a whole bunch of clouds right here that was stopping. So then he looked at like he was looking down like this, but he turned right because I don't know. Maybe that was the stairs to go somewhere bad or something.
Did you look really clearly, or did it just kind of look like people, or you saw it like it looked real?
It looked kind of real.
It looked kind of real.
And then Jesus turned right. Yeah. What?
Where do you think he went? Why do you think he turned right?
I don't know. Maybe he was going to see something. He looked like he was walking to the sun or something.
Like he was walking towards the sun?
Yeah, the sun was kind of on my back, so I checked and then when I looked closely, he disappeared.
What do you think you saw?
Think it, like what it meant?
Mm-hmm.
I think it meant that Jesus is coming soon.
Really?
Because since he was walking towards me, it kind of shaped like he was walking on a donkey, but he wasn't like sitting on a donkey. No, the donkey was like there was no donkey, but it looked like he was sitting on a donkey because it was at the bottom and his feet was really big.
Really?
It was shaped like a donkey, but it wasn't a donkey.
Do you think it was a horse?
I knew I wasn't dreaming. They all took off and broke down the city street.
I don't know. It shaped like a donkey.
The ones that I've heard about since I was young. And they were giant knights on giant horses.
I couldn't see no eyes, nothing, but I can see hands, I can see feet, the people, I can see their whole bodies.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, military soldiers and tanks started pushing people into the street, forcing everyone to get out of their cars, get out of the stores, get out of your homes. At that moment, I knew I wasn't dreaming. I didn't care about what happened to my car. I don't know what happened to my uncle on the phone. The Horsemen never left my mind. And as they forced everyone into the street, they pushed everyone into a line, and they started to make us walk. Everyone saw they were evil. And the funny thing was, in my vision, I saw nobody resist. So they made us walk, and we walked, and we walked. I knew at any moment I would wake up, but the Lord did not wake me up, for I was walking Everything seemed so real. I could hear the gravel underneath my feet and just try to understand how everything went from a perfect day to pure hell and chaos, as in a moment. Everybody was crying, men, women. I didn't hear any children in my vision. Every person of every color and religion I saw. Then I saw the worst thing that you could ever possibly see in life or face. It was almost dark at that time, and as we were walking in the line, I looked off in the horizon over the city, and behold, my heart dropped. For I saw a whirlwind in the sky, sucking up thousands of lights. The rapture was taking place, sucking up souls of light. And the Lord was taking His children. And I knew right then and there that I was left behind. And I did not know what to do or think, and everybody saw what I was seeing. But what about me, I thought? What about me? Was I condemned for eternity? Was I on my way to hell? The Lord still did not wake me up. And I'm still walking in this line. I knew this was real. So we walked, and then we came to a checkpoint. In the distance I was looking, and as I saw the evil men that I passed, looking deeper and darker as we got closer and closer to a facility, to a border checkpoint. We had finally made it to their destination. I remember their faces, their evil demonic faces staring at us. As we got closer and closer, we came to a point. And I thought to myself, am I going to hell? They rounded people up. Thousands of people rounded up, shoved in this line and forced to this border crossing. They were watching us all close. I saw them pushing people over a line ahead of me.
One on this side, one on this side, they're kind of close, like this close, and then they look like they're splitting up.
And I heard people crying and screaming. And as soon as they crossed the line, they were marked. A big knot would come out of their head. Giant knot with a scar over it. Another person, then another. And then some people I noticed a knot would pop out of their arm. So it's either the arm or the forehead. I don't know what the difference was, but that's what I saw in the faces of these evil men. And then came I. Get in the line, they yelled as they pushed me across the line. Now I remember looking at my arm, and as soon as I crossed, bam! A big old knot would pop out of my arm with a big scarish looking thing over it. And I knew we had been marked. And the hideousness of it, I couldn't stand, so I covered it with my shirt and I started walking. It didn't matter where you walked from there. I followed the others and went toward a huge concrete building. And I knew from there we were marked because no one followed us from there. I could hear crying in the distance. So I walked in to a giant concrete room. And as I looked around, I saw an entrance and I heard other people crying. So I walked toward that room to see what was going on. Weeping and wailing, rooms full of people crying. Everyone knew in their minds that we were going to hell or we are on our way to be executed. We were left behind. A moment later, a girl who I seemed to have known before from my past had came running up to me, and I told her I have sinned too much, and I pushed her away, and she walked away sobbing. I remember sliding my back down the wall and crouching and putting my head between my knees and crying to the Lord. I even thought about what was next, what they were going to do to us. My eyes were closed. The horror I felt was so real, y'all.
You read the Bible with yes. Well, there's this passage I got memorized on this. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord, when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
You can see the people's whole body.
Yeah, looked it like it didn't have clothes.
Like, oh, they look like they didn't have any clothes.
No.
Was,
And they looked it like they're saying, hooray, hooray, because their hands were up.
oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It looked so real.
Was there a lot of people?
Not much. Just like a small pile went on here. And like kind of like this big and this big.
Yeah. Wow. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Nope.
No. This is the first time you saw something this real?
Yeah.
Did you tell anybody?
I was going to Miss Anderson, but I didn't think she was going to leave me.
Wow, I really think that God showed you something, honey.
Maybe he was trying to tell me something.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to tell you. He is. He's trying to tell you that Jesus is coming back soon. Do you know anything about how Jesus is going to come back? Has anybody taught you? Like, when Jesus come back, how is it going to look like?
I feel like I can know.
You feel like you know?
The whole entire city lights off.
You think so?
And then there's going to be one shining light.
I knew this vision couldn't be anybody else but God, and he made me watch. I watched to the very end.
If growth is too weak, well, then we can't withstand weakness overseas. So good news is bad news, and bad news is bad news.
Just as I thought it was over, there's still hope.
The Bible says, my king is the king of the Jews. He's the king of Israel. He's the king of righteousness. He's the king of the ages. He's the king of heaven. He's the king of glory. He's the king of kings. And he's the Lord of lords. That's my king. I wonder, do you know him? My king is a sovereign king. No means of measure can define his limitless love. He's enduringly strong. He's entirely sincere. He's eternally steadfast. He's immortally graceful. He's imperially powerful. He's impartially merciful. Do you know him? He's the greatest phenomenon that has ever crossed the horizon of this world. He's God's Son. He's a sinner's Savior. He's the centerpiece of civilization. He's unparalleled. He's unprecedented. philosophy. He's the fundamental doctrine of true theology. He's the only one qualified to be an all-sufficient Savior. I wonder if you know him today. He supplies strength for the weak. He's available for the tempted and the tried. He sympathizes and he saves. He strengthens and sustains. He guards and he guides. He heals the sick. He cleanses the lepers. He forgives sinners. He discharges debtors. He delivers the captives. He defends the feeble. He blesses the young. He serves the unfortunate. He regards the aged. He rewards the diligent. And he purifies the meek. I wonder if you know him. He's the key to knowledge. He's the wellspring of wisdom. He's the doorway of deliverance. He's the pathway of peace. He's the roadway of righteousness. He's the highway of holiness. He's the gateway of glory. Do you know him? Well, his light is matchless. His goodness is limitless. His mercy is everlasting. His love never changes. His word is enough. His grace is sufficient. His way is righteous. And his yoke is easy. And his burden is light. I wish I could describe him to you. He's indescribable. He's incomprehensible. He's invincible. He's irresistible. Well, you can't get him out of your mind. You can't get him off of your head. You can't outlive him, and you can't live without him. Well, the Pharisees couldn't stand him, but they found out they couldn't stop him. Pilate couldn't find any fault in him. Herod couldn't kill him. Death couldn't have him, and the grave couldn't hold him.
To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us wait for blood. Let us lurk privately for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up as alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. For their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird.